would seem that white should be able to win the black.
Something positional. No. Anish Giri, he's going for blood. He woke up and chose violence. He definitely wants to deliver to Max the 5th consecutive loss. And the pawn has moved up to g5, attacking the knight. Now, I will kind of tamp down people's surprise a little bit. This g4 type of idea, it's not unknown. And it's actually quite fashionable in a wide variety of different English setups. I think Shakir Mamidiara is one of the earliest top players who kind of introduced this g4 idea to kind of the public in general. He was doing it in a slightly different position. So let's see how this actually occurred before we delve into the complications. Anish started with what seemed like a very positional line. Knight f3, d5, and e3. Okay, then he played b3, so kind of a Zukertort type setup here. Bishop to b2, bishop to d6. Now he plays c4, so he actually refrains from pushing the d-pawn to keep the diagonal open for his bishop. And he doesn't waste any time. Castles, knight c3, Max Warmerdam plays in the center, and bang, g2, g4. And it continues. Robert, he's not stopping there. g5, Max Warmerdam jumps into e4. You have to play aggressive principal chess if you want to punish this system with black. h4, let's attack. Mama, there goes that man.
Yeah, this is an awesome variation from Anish Giri, and I just want to backtrack a couple moves because for us and for Max Warmerdam, knight takes g4 was obviously a bad choice, but for some players they may see a free pawn and take a free pawn. So just to go back a couple turns, that leaving the material on the board is actually good for black, because had you taken this pawn, the white rook slides over to g1, and you'll notice a bishop on b2 and then a rook on g1 staring all the way towards that g7 pawn. So if black is not careful, you could get checkmated in just a few moves. So it's not worth chewing on just a single pawn to see your king in line with an enemy rook. So that's why knight takes g4 was not played. These are variations that are way too dangerous. You can tell by Max Warmerdam's clock management, as you're showing this line here, knight takes d5, if the black knight takes back, rook takes g7 check. And the problem is the black king has to step into the corner, and I'm sure there are many checkmates. A move like knight to g5 looks excellent. You've discovered checks with your rook if you didn't want to play knight g5 first, but the king is left alone and it will not survive. So that pawn was untouchable. There's no universe where a top player, even if the engine says, yeah, you could maybe be okay for a few moves, you're leaving it on the board because at least now the king side is closed. It looks like white is starting an attack, but black would have walked right into it by capturing. So Danya, as Max Warmerdam, one of the best prepared players on the circuit, he has the black pieces, he's the one spending a little bit of time. Do you think that he's at all surprised by Anish Giri, often called a solid player, trying to take a technical position? He is choosing violence, as you said.
Anish Giri is a shapeshifter, and this has to come as a surprise to Max Warmerdam. By the way, we're already essentially in a completely unexplored territory. I see 2 games in the database. Vincent Keimer played this in the most recent World Blitz Championship in Samarkand, and h7 is irresistible. King f6, rook f1, king g5, and in that position, I'm trying to figure out the knockout blow. It is possible to blunder.
King b1, maybe.
King b1, queen takes b6, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. How about rook d7 check here? Because if the queen takes it, queen h7 is available.
Oh my gosh, you're on a roll, my friend. Rook e7, rook e7,
Oh,
queen h7, queen h4.
oh, okay, I didn't see that part of
Oh
it.
my gosh. This is
Beautiful
incredible.
geometry.
No, he's gonna play it, and Robert, rook d7 check, follow Mr. Hess's advice. It's so hard. I said queen h7 is irresistible. I wasn't lying, but queen h7 actually might be wrong. Let's show this really quickly. Rook d7 check, queen takes, skewering the queen. I'll put the moves on the board. If you go king f6, then the rook drops back to d6 with a skewer. If queen takes with a pin, that is queen d7, queen h7 is over. And the main point, if black blocks with the rook, the most resilient move, boom. Looks like black is very close to defending. Boom. And white picks up the rook and wins the game. And we're about to get a move. And will it be rook d7 check? I think we're going to get another brilliant clip from chess.com. And that'll be well-deserved once again. He's about to make a move.
You know, queen h7 might. He's doing it. You see him grabbing it.
He's seen it.
He found him. Anish just played a marvelous attacking sequence here, and board Max Warmerdam's king. He's on the board. Max Warmerdam's king. He stops the clock because his king is swarmed, and Anish Giri, for the second year in a row, wins on demand in the final round. This year, he will share first place with Wijk and potentially Gukesh as well, and Noribeka Musatara. But you see the handshake from other people congratulating Anish Giri. He is the local star. He's the #1 player for the Netherlands, but this player against him, another Dutch talent in Max Warmerdam. The last 5 games, he hopes to forget them as soon as possible. But for Anish, another unforgettable tournament in Wijk.
And I think Max Warmerdam, he just wants to go home, but very graciously analyzing his game with his legendary opponent. Another frustrating game narrative for Max Warmerdam. We thought he might get blown off the board. He found that brilliant resource e5. Anish Giri was getting nervous, but ultimately I think the clock situation was a